Always good. Hello, everyone. My name is Chase Harrison. I'm the CEO of Alta Labs, and you are joining us for our 14th, believe it or not, 14th Alta Labs live stream event here. And I would like to welcome my co-host, Jeff Hansen. And we have two very special guests with us, Ben Moore, our co-founder and board member, as well as Chris Beekler, our principal architect. And special welcome to Ben and Chris. Thank you for being with us. We did not initially announce Chris, but we wanted to sneak him in on this to help talk about some of the new Route 10 features that we have just recently deployed, which hopefully everyone's very excited about. I know I am. Some of these have been long awaited and kind of help set Route 10 apart even more. So we'll get to that here in just a minute. But and before that, we've got a couple of just housekeeping items, some reminder items. Number one, these are held monthly. If this is your very first Alta Labs live stream event, and you'd like to go back and look at any of our past recordings, you can count them. You can catch them on YouTube. You can catch them on Instagram, LinkedIn, and go and listen to those. We also, at the end of this, will hold a live question and answer session. So if you have a question for Ben or Chris or Jeff or myself, anything about Alta, the features we talk about, or anything we launched today, we'd welcome those questions. If you're also watching this after the event, if you're watching the recording, you're always welcome to email sales@alta.inc with your questions, and we'd be happy to get those answered as quickly as we can. We also would like to share our installer of the month for November. I forgot to capture that. Rob or Landon, if you'll throw that in our private chat, I'll announce that. We also are officially done with our travel this year, but we're going to kick the year off strong. We're going to be in Integrated Systems Europe right at the very beginning of February. That's in Barcelona. It's a big show. We'll have a booth. We'll have all the latest and greatest product. We'd love to have you come check us out. Watch our marketing material for what our booth number will be and where we'll be at on the show floor. Also, I wanted to mention Instagram. When we first got in the StreamYard today, decided they wanted to change some formatting on the actual feed. So if you're tuning in via Instagram and see just the top of Ben and Chris's head, and you see the bottom half of mine, you can thank Instagram for that. So very apologize for that, but you can jump into another platform if you'd like. YouTube's obviously got it, LinkedIn, Facebook, etc.
They're capturing the best of me.
Yeah, I'm glad they're not capturing the top. Anyways, all right. The other thing I wanted to mention, and we'll have the Landon and Rob throw this into our chat as well through all the social media platforms, is today, rather than focus on another giveaway, we're already running one that we mentioned on our forum already, but it's we want to hear what you are most thankful for. And our team will be looking at that. And we've got some shirts, an 8-port switch, a couple 8-port switches I think we're handing out for those. And so we'd love to hear what you're thankful for, obviously, as we are in November, spirit of obviously Thanksgiving. And it kind of rolls into a little bit more about what we're going to be talking about with Ben here on our Alta Gives Back program here in just a little bit. But anyways, before I hand it over to Jeff and Chris, wanted to say congratulations to Ardent Core Technologies. They are our November Installer of the Month. We appreciate Ardent's support. They've recently had some very big projects. I know we've got a couple of schools, I think a high school roll into that. If you're interested in becoming Installer of the Month, the best way is to make sure you're visible on our community forums, on our socials, be working with our sales team, and we track our sell-through, obviously, through all of our distributors. We'd love to see, obviously, a lot of support within the brand, and that's how you ultimately become eligible for Installer of the Month. So anyways, enough of me rambling. I'd love to turn it over to both Jeff and Chris so we can dive into the fun stuff. So Jeff, Chris, go ahead and take it away.
Awesome. Thank you, Chase. Yeah, excited to be here. Thankful for you guys. So we're actually going to kick off our new features with Chris first. So we're going to have him share his screen. We're going to talk about dynamic routing, which was just recently added in our Route 10 firmware version 1.4L. And we actually just pushed out front end and back end support for local controllers less than an hour ago. So all that is available on any controller that you're using today. So I'm going to go ahead. Let's kick it off, Chris.
All right, so dynamic routing protocols on Route 10. So we implement it with FRR, which is the de facto standard open source routing protocol. Daemon supports many different protocols. It's widely used. A good chunk of the internet is dependent on it. A lot of large data centers are dependent on it, all the way down to smaller routers like Route 10. Great, very solid choice that also gives us flexibility for the future. We've started with the three most in-demand, BGP, OSPF, and OSPF v3. But if there is demand for others, we will add them. Just let us know. We didn't want to just turn on every single last thing it has, because if there's not a demand for using it, we didn't want to increase the firmware size to add things people aren't going to use. We went with CLI configuration for ease of use and flexibility. And ease of use and CLI may seem like opposite concepts to some people, but in the case of routing daemons, it is very, very difficult to write a good user interface for it. They're either extremely limiting or just crazily done. And I'm saying that as someone who has written multiple of them in the past that are reasonably widely used. The great thing about using the shell of FRR is it has tons and tons of validation to make sure that you're getting in all of the appropriate configuration. If you put in a certain portion of config and then there's another portion that's dependent on that, it will tell you that clearly, and then you can fix that, and you'll be aware immediately. Some other comparable products, you just upload a text file configuration, and if it fails, good luck figuring out why it failed. There's really no help there to figure it out. So the most common use cases that we see in the near future are VPN routing, to be able to do basically failover VPNs most often, and private WAN routing as well. So you have like a private MPLS WAN service that those require injecting routes into your VRF within the provider's network, which is most often done by BGP. So that allows Route 10 to tell your provider's router, this is what networks are on this site. And then at all your other sites, it does the same thing. And then those routes populate your VRF within the service provider network, so all your sites can reach each other. So starting off with the VTY shell, if you're familiar with Cisco iOS, it's basically syntax compatible with that. We have a spot in the UI where you can go to settings, networks, and routes, and click on dynamic routing, and it brings up VTYSH right there in the window in your browser. Or if you want to log in via SSH, you can run VTYSH there, and then you can have a bigger window, and maybe things will be more visible depending on exactly what you're running. One warning, there is a whole lot of things that are configurable in VTYSH. A lot of them will not actually let you configure them because we do not have them compiled in. But there are some things like interface IP addressing that if you configure in VTYSH, it will conflict potentially or have unexpected behaviors with the UI provision configuration. So stick with the configuration for the routing protocols and you'll be in shape. I want to flip over to a router. So this is the, actually let me flip over to a browser to start. So under settings, networks, routes, we have this dynamic routing button now. And that pops up the VTY shell right there. And I'm going to flip back over to the terminal because for what I'm doing here, it's going to make it easier for you all to see. So one of the key things is in the contextual help. So if you type ? It tells you what commands are valid in the context that you're currently in. Whenever you first open up the shell, you're in operation mode, so you can't make configuration changes, but you can do things like show the configuration or routes or status or a variety of other things. If you type just one character and then hit the ? It will show you what things are available that match, what starts with an S, basically, is what I did there, typed S ? If you hit tab, if there's only one thing that matches, it'll fill in what the option is. And then hit ? Again, and it'll show you what's available there. So I'm going to do show running configuration. And then that will show the full config that is in place on this router. And then to get into the configuration mode, just type configure, and I just hit CON tab, I think, there, because that's hit ? There. You see that's the only option is configure. So tab completion helps. And then here you put in whatever configuration that you're needing. So I can go into the BGP portion of the config, and then to remove the configuration that you have in place, you prefix it with no. So let's say I want to remove my router ID. And so that will delete it from there, and then end to get out of configure mode, and then I'll produce show running config. And thus we no longer have a router ID. Hold it back in there. And we'll set it back again. And each of these submodes, there are interface submodes or router submodes. If you go into a routing protocol, they each have their own unique sets of commands. So certain commands are configurable under router BGP or router OSPF for those protocols. And some of them are configurable under the interface. So like if you look back at my configuration here, I have a VLAN 5 that I want OSPF to be passive on. So do interface, oh, sorry, go back to configure interface, DR LAN 5. And if I want to remove that so it participates in OSPF, I can do that. Or put it back in an end exit. And then whenever you're done with your configuration, you can manually save it yourself, either with the old write memory from the ancient Cisco days, or copy running config, start config. And that will save your configuration. When you exit V2ISH, if your configuration has changed, like mine did after I was messing with it, then it will upload it to the controller. So it's automatically pushed back up to the controller. So everything you did there is now going to be provisioned back to Route 10 anytime you make changes in the UI. If you don't exit out of it, then the config will not be uploaded, and then the next time you change something in the UI, it will provision the last config that you made it upload. And that's pretty much the basics of how the shell works. A lot of the keyboard shortcuts of the Unix shell are applicable there. So if we go back in there, Command W will delete the previous word in the line, and Control A will take you to the beginning. Control E takes you to the end. And that's at least the basics of it, enough to get you by. Most people have probably worked with a Cisco iOS router or an iOS work-alike, since so many products have used syntactically similar CLI. So here's my example environment. I've got a Route 10 on a S24 switch, and then beneath that, I just have 2 routers. So these 2 routers will probably be provider-owned routers that you are exchanging routes with in most cases, or they could be routers that are local to the site and have switches behind them and have different networks behind those. So there's a variety of different ways that that those 2 routers can function. But what we're doing here is setting up routing to exchange routes for everything behind those routers and Route 10. So if we go back. So looking at the OSPF to start, I have on the BR LAN, which is the only interface I have actually participating in OSPF. That's where those routers exist. If the MTU is different between the routers on the network, they will not establish a neighbor relationship unless you tell it to ignore the MTU. In this case, Route 10 has jumbo frames on it. The other routers that I have do not. They're 1500 MTU, which is a common scenario for a wide area network. You usually don't get jumbo frames over a WAN. So that's why I have that. Otherwise, it would not actually work. And then my VLANs 2, 3, 4, and 5 do not have an OSPF speaking router on them. So they have the IP OSPF passive, and the same thing for E3, which is my WAN interface. And then the rest of the OSPF config is simple as can be in this case. Just go under router OSPF and then put in network. In this case, all the VLANs on this router can be summarized as 10400/20. And then I'm just using the default area 0000. So once that's all set up, you can run show IP OSPF, and then you can see, hit question mark, see what's in there. Neighbor is what I'm interested in. And you see that we have a neighbor relationship with 2 routers here. And now if we go to show IP route, you can see so K is a kernel route, so that would be a static route. So in this case, this is a static IP WAN. And that's why that looks the way it does. And then we have the VLAN 1 network, the VLAN 2 network, VLAN 3, etc. So those all get a connected route, a kernel route, and also they get advertised in OSPF. So that's why they have that node there. The codes that explain what all of that is right here at the top. And we can see down here that we have an OSPF route that is currently the selected route, and that is installed in the FIB, meaning it's in the systems routing table. And these are the 2 subnets that are behind those 2 routers that were depicted in the diagram there. And you can see, because of the way I have the costs set up on the routers on the other side, that it's preferring the 254 router. If that router were to go away, then the 253 one would appear there instead. Similar for BGP, except it gets a bit more complicated to configure. So if we look at all the things that I have set up here for it, we have a prefix list of what BGP should export, and it's permitting that one particular subnet that I wanted to use. Then we have a route map by the same name, but these 2 can have the same name. They're unique concepts. If you specify a prefix list BGP export, that's one thing. If you use a route map BGP export, that's a different thing. You might want to use different names for those. I was fine with the same for both. So I have a route map that has a 1 entry only. 10 is the ID of the of the route map. And then it's matching IP addresses from the prefix list of BGP exports. So the 10410/24. And then further down here, I have the router BGP 65,000. So 65,000 is the local autonomous system number. Whenever you're doing this inside of a private network, that's strictly only your own routers. You can pick whatever you want. 65,000 and up are the private reserved ranges. I guess not up all the way because they're now larger public, but that's a good starting point for a private AS. So you're not conflicting with anyone's like public AS on the internet. Not that it would actually impact them in any way, but it's just good to have a unique autonomous system. And then there's the BGP router ID, which identifies the router. Then the neighbor. So unlike with OSPF, which is multicast, and routers just all find each other if they're on the same broadcast domain. BGP is unicast, and you have to tell it what the neighbor is, what its IP is, and what the remote autonomous system is. So the router on the other side, its AS is 65,001. Then we have under address family IPv4 unicast, we have redistribute connected route map BGP export. So that means we're going in BGP, we're going to redistribute all connected networks, meaning it's directly connected to this router, and matching the route map BGP export. So it's the one we defined above here. And some of these things like exit address family are automatically put in by FRR, and that's one of the reasons it's so much easier to use the CLI than to manually craft a configuration, because it populates some of these things that you need without you having to do anything about it. So then we can check the show IP BGP neighbor to see. So there we have our neighbor. And then we have our BGP state is established. And it's been up for 10 minutes. And then some other details here that generally you don't need to get into too much unless you really get deep into troubleshooting. The main thing that we're interested in is the state. And I do not actually have BGP routes because apparently I broke something here.
That's the beautiful thing about live demos.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was just in there mucking with the config to show people how to use the shell, and what did I do?
You're right.
But you would see BGP routes here in the list, and with the B in the beginning. So, you know, that's where they originated.
Cool.
So there's a lot of other things that you can view in BGP. BGP can get extraordinarily complicated. It's the routing protocol that drives the internet. The internet routing table is in the vicinity of 1 million entries. So you can't use the entire internet routing table on a product that's the grade of Route 10. You don't, for $199, you don't route the full internet. It's some orders of magnitude larger than that. But if you do connect to your ISP, it is possible to get a default only feed. That's a very common thing for people who don't want to spend a massive sum of money on a router that can handle, you know, if you have 2 full feeds, you know, 2 million routes. So that's an option. And most of the usage is for over VPNs or private WAN circuits like MPLS, where you're just advertising a limited number of private IP subnets.
Yeah, I mean, Chris, it was really fun to spend a little bit of time with you this morning talking about the applications. So yeah, definitely, you know, being able to route traffic efficiently if you have multiple sites, you know, across the country, making sure it doesn't go through a completely ineffective route. for your internal VPNs, doing internal your own networks. There's tons of options available. So yeah, we're excited to see what people come up with. So anything else you want to share, Chris?
I think that is it for the configuration. Let me back here. And we're going to be publishing documentation to help you through the basics soon. And so we'll cover all the common, least complicated scenarios, so you have an easy instructions to follow. But short of writing a multi-100-page book, we can't cover every single option that is available for all of these. But FRR has excellent documentation that you can follow exactly with our implementation. So anything that's not covered within our documentation, you'll be able to find help there. And I'm sure we'll expand ours over time to cover more basically case studies or cookbook type recipe documentation that will help you achieve very specific use cases.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, definitely a lot more documentation videos to come showing off those most common use cases.
Sure.
Before we move on to Ben, I just want to share just a couple new features that I'm really excited about. Let's see. I'm going to share my screen real quick. So there's a feature added to Route 10 recently where you can automatically block IP addresses. So if a threat is detected, it shows up in your threats list in your event log, but it can automatically block those. So I'm going to do a test real quick. I'm going to go on my network to a URL called testmyids.com. You don't see that I went there, but I went there in another terminal. You can see that it was detected, and right now it's being blocked. So if I try to go there again, you can't see it, but I'm not getting another event. That's because it's being blocked. If I want to unblock that, it's very easy. You just click on the unblock, and then I'm going to go there again. And you'll see it happens again. So that's a really cool feature added to our IPS. The last thing I want to share is vouchers has gone live with Wi-Fi. So that's a really easy way to enable guest networks. You can hand out vouchers for free, or you can make people pay for them, give it as a benefit of using your services, spending money at your site or restaurant or anything like that. But yeah, to set them, I already went over how to set them up as a profile. Just want to show you real quick. You can actually print out the vouchers. That's one really cool thing about the way that we've implemented Wi-Fi vouchers. You can do them as an open captive portal, which is more traditional, or you can actually set up the vouchers as a PSK Wi-Fi. So I've got this connection profile that I've created, sets them up on my guest VLAN with reasonable download and upload limits. I set the max devices to 1. That means that they can only connect one device to this password at a time, to this voucher or password at a time. And then it's single use. So after 2 hours of using it, they'll be kicked off and can't use it anymore. So I do that. And then you go to your Wi-Fi settings. We're going to go into here where you set up your vouchers. And it's really cool. You can add multiple vouchers. So you can add up to 100 at a time. I'm going to add 10 and make sure I use the free profile, which gets that single device, single use setting applied. And then you can go ahead and select all of them, and we're going to print them. And since this is a since this is a password network instead of open, you can actually use a QR code to join the network. So people don't have to type anything in. You can also optionally, show them what their number of maximum devices are, bandwidth and duration are. And depending on your letter size, your paper size, you can do that. So that's downloaded. And then I'm going to share my other window just to show you what the printout looks like. So let's cancel this one and share this window. Okay. So this is what it looks like. So you can print it out. You can cut off these strips, hand it out to customers. And all they have to do is scan that code to get on the voucher, and they get Wi-Fi for whatever duration of time, and it shows them exactly what they got there. So yeah, we're excited for this feature especially as well. So yeah, that's about all I have today. So I'll give it back to Chase, and we'll talk with Ben.
That's great. Thanks, Jeff and Chris. I am ecstatic as always to see new features entering the platform. I have to say, Chris, I love hearing the mechanical keyboard in the background. Rob was just texting me. He said something about war game vibes. I mean, if anybody has seen the movie War Games, I mean, that just kind of comes flooding back there. And P.S. love to see the Diet Mountain Dew pop up from time to time. I think our company runs on Diet Mountain Dew. I know I've got one on my desk. Wouldn't be surprised if Ben does.
Hey, drink some water. Drink some water.
Nope.
The Diet Dews are in the fridge.
There we go. Anyways, a reminder for everyone. I mean, Chris covered a lot. We'd love to follow up or hit your questions at the end of the live stream. Please submit those through whatever social platform you are watching us on. We'll try and get to all of those. If we run really long, we may have to cut it off. I've seen a lot of really good questions here that may spur that into an extra long session of Q&A. So we may have to cut it and follow up outside of the live stream, but we'll get there. We'll see how it goes. Anyways, yes, Ben, welcome to our live stream event. We appreciate you taking the time. We know that you are a very busy guy.
Thank you. Glad I finally made the cut.
Yeah. Of course. Well, I know we probably have a lot of Ben Moore enthusiasts on the live stream, guys that have followed your career, at least, and known from when you were at Ubiquity and whatever. But you've got a lot of really good, strong relationships. And I'm sure a lot of guys are probably wondering, what's Ben been up to? So if you wouldn't mind, maybe take a couple minutes and tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, you bet. First, I guess what I'm grateful for too is just watching Chris pound away on those keys, man. I'm grateful for great engineering. Yeah. Knowing I don't stand a chance in that regard. So it's great to work with great people. And obviously a lot more to be grateful for as well. But anyway, fun to see. Yeah, as far as career things that I've been doing since I left Ubiquity, been involved with a number of different companies, some that I'm still involved with. So we actually we started a construction company, which is unique, obviously not something that I love to see the building process, whether it's a company, a house, whatever the case may be. So we actually, my neighbor was building a pool and it took him 14 months to build. And I thought, man, it can't take that long, right? Mm-hmm. So I think it was within a couple of weeks we started a pool company, which has transitioned to, we're still building pools and doing really well there, but also building homes, building townhomes. We've got a number of developments that we're working on, and then also have gotten into commercial. Just seeing needs and kind of finding the right people and having them help meet those needs. So that's been pretty fun. Actually got into the franchise space a little bit. We owned, operated some Crumble franchises. Quickly found out that the restaurant gig wasn't as super exciting. I mean, outside of knowing how much butter and sugar we went through, there wasn't much else that to keep me motivated there. But anyway, it was a great company, great process. Ended up selling those and have transitioned that into another franchise, which is Budget Blinds. So we've actually done very well with that and in some of the home automation, and now own a number of different territories there and have a group that's doing really well. I'm also on a couple of boards. So Luxonis is a company that I've invested in that does AI video camera solutions. That's been going well. So I'm on the board there, on the board of a couple other companies. Let's see what else. Oh, and then one that's exciting, kind of a passion project for me is we've got a complex here in St. George where we have a nonprofit that we run called Nets on Fire. It's a basketball gym for NBA-sized courts where we run tournaments, trainings. We had a boxing event here on Saturday where we worked with another nonprofit, which was really cool. And that nonprofit, Nets on Fire, works with probably 10 to 12 different nonprofits here in St. George and in other areas. So Make-A-Wish and some of these others that provide opportunities to primarily youth. But we've also worked with others as well. So those are those are some of the things that I've been involved in, and just have loved the process.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love seeing everything you're involved with and the people that you have around you in each of those organizations. It's really cool.
Yeah. Again, going back to being thankful, right? I think that's one of my biggest blessings, is being able to work with amazing people that are passionate and share similar goals.
Yeah, for sure. I love it. Well, if you wouldn't mind, I'm sure a lot of guys are probably wondering why the departure from Ubiquity. Do you mind sharing a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah. No. I mean, obviously, Ubiquity, great company. Really, really, really loved my time there. I mean, it was just fast paced. New solutions, new products, new territories, new distribution partners. Traveling all over the world. Doing events. I still think back to doing an event in the same week in China, India, Russia, right? Like that was a week,
Incredible.
and that was a blast.
Yeah.
And so really enjoyed it, again, working with great people, a number of them that I get the opportunity to work with again now, right? That's been awesome to have again. But I think one of the biggest reasons, I mean, I think I kind of felt like maybe a little bit in cruise control, right? Just personally, I think I found that I love that startup, backs against the wall kind of mentality, which is kind of similar to a lot of the people that we work with, right? With the integrators and the wireless internet service providers and those kind of guys, where they're just super passionate and they're just go. I think so. For me personally, the company not necessarily, but for me personally, kind of in cruise control a little bit, and also there's some change in philosophy on go to market and things like that. I just felt like, gosh, I've got such great relationships. I want to maintain and keep those relationships, and so just felt like it was a great run, great ride, but time for a change.
Yeah, makes sense. Totally respect that. Thank you for being willing to share. I'm sure we'll probably get some follow-up questions on that one.
Sure.
So
yeah, you bet.
see how that rides. Let's see. And Jeff and Chris, I don't need to be the one hogging all the time, all the questions here. I just got to put some here that I kind of shared with Ben, so we knew it was coming. So softball questions, I guess.
All good.
But Ben, I'm sure a lot of people wondering, how did you get involved with Sound Vision, right? That was kind of the impetus even behind Alta Labs. So Sound Vision kind of was the incubator for Alta. Love to hear kind of your view on that. How'd you get involved, and what got you excited about it?
Yeah. So, I mean, going back a little bit, I think about my days at Pacific Wireless, right? And Pacific Wireless, we manufactured some antennas and kind of the early stages of the wireless internet service provider space. I remember traveling out and visiting a customer, and all of a sudden, because I wanted to see how things were done, right? I wanted to understand the market and all of those kind of things, and what these installers and service providers were doing. And so, I'd probably been out there for 20 minutes and I found myself up on a ladder, right? Which, if anybody knows me, I mean, I barely own a screwdriver, right? And so I'm here and just seeing what all of these guys are doing, and I'm like, man, this is pretty awesome, pretty incredible what these guys do. But also saw some of the challenges and struggles that they had to deal with. And so it kind of changed a little bit, I think, my mindset, right? Sometimes I think on the business side, or even on the engineering side or whatever, we can kind of get in our own little spots, right? And think, oh, well, no, I know what everybody needs, right? And so that was kind of an eye opener for me. And from that experience, we helped develop and create some products that would hopefully make their lives easier and provide them with additional opportunities, right? And so I was actually going through, we were building a house here in St. George, and, knew one of the founders of Sound Vision, and saw them, they were coming in and deploying, the streaming product and the speaker solutions. And I thought, man, this has a lot of similarities to my time at Ubiquity, right? Mm-hmm. Working with a similar group of people. And so I thought, man, I think I'd like to get involved with this, right? And again, seeing, these integrators, installers come in and just kind of kill it, right? And see how how they attacked different solutions and came up with different opportunities. And so, I reached out to one of the founders and thought, man, I'd love to be involved, whether as an investor or, consultant or whatever. And so that's kind of how it all started, is just seeing the similarities and seeing how passionate not only the company was, but also, again, working with this group of people that is just, in my mind, killer, right? These integrators that just go out and make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. That's cool. Well, yeah, and I appreciate you reaching out to Ron back in the day and being a part of the organization. That's kind of the catalyst that brought us all together. And then really that's kind of what segued into the founding of Alta, right? As we took True Audio and Vessel out under the Sound Vision umbrella to Ben's contacts everywhere. That's where we started to see a lot of excitement, not only around those brands, but just knowing that Ben was involved. Everyone's like, okay, wait a minute. We've got these holes over here on the network side. Can you help us with these, right? Which is kind of a really cool segue into Alta Labs. So,
yep.
I guess from your perspective, Ben, you mind sharing a little bit about that and maybe some of the encouragement some of the distributors gave you,
sure. What
makes Alta Labs great based on that, or what's kind of fueling the vision of Alta Labs?
Yeah, you bet. And before I answer that, I actually thought I was reading some of these comments, right? And one of the guys that was talking about what they're thankful for, and I'm going to call him out, Kobe Corbett. Hopefully I said it correctly, but I just wanted to read this because it kind of goes hand in hand with oh, there it is right there. Man, that was quick. Our guys on the back end are Johnny on the spot.
Dialed.
I'm thankful for health, healing, faith, family, and opportunities. I'm also thankful for networking, new technology, Alta Labs. Thank you. And finishing my bachelor's degree program to help me. And I love this last little part, to help me make the best life I can for my family. Right. And so I just think, going back to that, being able to work with all of these integrators and service providers and things like that, that's what it's all about. Right. Is these guys having the opportunity to provide for family and come up with great solutions and establish something that they're passionate about. Right. And so, I'm grateful to be involved and again help provide opportunities for these guys to go out and kill it, right? And obviously we can't do what we do without people out there busting it. So anyway, going back to that question, Chase, and appreciate again the comment, Kobe. That's awesome, and good luck with finishing that up. I hated school, so all the best to you.
Right.
Anyway, no, just going back to that. So obviously leaving Ubiquity, I kind of felt like, hey, I'm done with the space, right? It was very, very good to me. I loved it. Between, Pacific Wireless and Ubiquity, I think it was close to 20 years in the space.
Oh, well.
And so just loved it, but thought, hey, I think I'm kind of done there. And I thought, okay, with Sound Vision, I'm going to, get into this other space that is similar. But as we kind of got into it, you started to see, gosh, it'd be great if we could kind of tie a lot of this stuff together, working with a lot of the same customers, same integrators, and thought, gosh, well, maybe we can get some of our, True Audio Vessel solutions through channel partners, distribution partners that again, that we love and have a great relationship with and who have been great for us. And so that's kind of how it all started. It was just focusing on that. There wasn't this other piece, this Alta piece on the back burner even at that point. But then finding, that we could have access to just some phenomenal people. Again, people that I'd had the privilege to work with. Again, going back to the comment of, Chris pounding on the keyboard and Jeff showing his thing, right? Knowing that we can't have a business without talented people that are out there, driving solutions. But seeing that people like that are available and excited and passionate and wanted to create something new and great. And then for me on the business side, having worked with, Tony, Dallin, Phillip, and on the support side, all of the guys, won't name them all, but all of the guys that I know are passionate, kind of like we are about, making sure customers are taken care of we're moving forward and finding solutions that these guys need. That's kind of, again, I don't think there was like, hey, this is the goal, but it transitioned to that, and super excited that it has, and grateful that we have this opportunity, and excited to see where we are at this point.
Yeah, and I agree. Echo pretty much everything you said there, right? I mean, it's been fun for me to, again, back against the wall at the same time, being able to rally everyone around those exact common kind of goals and vision, right? Having Jeff jump on and Dallin right at the very beginning, and then just to see, right, Chris reaching out to Jeff, wanting to be a part of what we're building with Alta, and then Tony and Philip coming online, and then Matt, and the whole team, right? It's been fun. Yep. I told the management team just the other day, I feel like I'm surrounded by a bunch of racehorses that just want to go.
And there's nothing better, right? When you see that, like, I think that's the thing, is, waking up in the morning and being thrilled to go to work.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's like working with the integrated service providers. And obviously there's challenges and there's days that are awful, right? No doubt. Yep. But just knowing, you're providing solutions, you're providing opportunities, speaking of, the service providers and integrators, and just doing a great job. It's exciting to wake up.
Yeah. Agreed. Give you some pep in your step.
Yep. Which I need, right? As we age, right? We need that pep in the step.
That's right. I feel it now more than ever. Well, I want to spend some time on the Alta Gives Back program, but before we do that, Ben, maybe if you wouldn't mind, looking forward a little bit, right? From your perspective, where would you like to see Alta be in the next 3 to 5 years? What's the future look like? How are we changing that? I'm sure the audience would love to hear that.
Well, and obviously I think it starts and ends with, the engineering side, right? Again, we can say all we want, right? But at the end of the day, it's just having, great engineering and being able to push and work towards, expanding the product line, right? I mean, you start with 2 access points, then all of a sudden you're adding a couple of switches, then you're adding a couple more switches, router, outdoor access point, in-wall access point, right? It's just rounding out the product line, right? And I think a lot of it, it's always hard to say, hey, what's going to happen in 3 to 5 years, but I would say what we'll continue to do is we're going to continue to listen to our customers in the market, right? And see what's needed and wanted, what the pain points are, and continue to work hand in hand with our customers to make sure we're developing products and adding features that are wanted and needed to help them in their business. So I could say, hey, we're going to have this product and that product and that product, and we will. But ultimately, it's going to come down to us working hand in hand with our customers and making sure we're doing what they need us to do.
Yeah.
But we'll continue to grow. I will say that, right? We're going to continue to push forward.
For sure. I mean, it kind of echo that sentiment as well, right? I mean, we've mentioned it a lot, I think, on every single live stream. We're very community driven. We've gotten a little bit of flack, right, for publishing a data sheet, like, for example, on our Route 10, and OpenVPN has been on there. Guys are wondering, well, why is OpenVPN not out? And the reality is we opted to pause that because of the feedback from our active customers, guys that are actively installing us on a regular basis, right? Using that money to feed their families, provide for their employees, whatever else. That OpenVPN was less of a priority. We needed to get things out like vouchers and BGP, OSPF, all these other things. And so hopefully that's a good indicator to everyone listening, right? And the future is that we will build based on what you tell us. We don't feel like we've got all the answers, and we're definitely not in the trenches every day like all of our installation partners or distribution partners. So absolutely agree. Let's please be active on our communities. Please come and tell us what we could be doing differently, better. We definitely take heed to that. So other than that, Jeff or Chris, do you have any questions for Ben before we jump into Alta Gives Back?
So Ben, you're a pretty busy guy, but I mean, do you have any time for basketball still?
Heck yeah. No, I can't give that up again. If I stop playing basketball, I mean, at my age, things fall apart pretty quick. So yeah, I'm still Monday, Wednesday, Friday, wake up at 4:45, go and play. We play for probably about 2 hours. It's not what I consider great basketball anymore, right? But it's still getting me out, and don't move as quickly as I'd like to or used to, right? But yeah, still getting out. Got to do it.
Nice. That's a blast.
4:45 is so early. I'll be honest with you. Not for the faint of
Yes.
heart there. Very good for you. All right. Well, let's, if it's okay, we'll jump into Alta Gives Back a little bit. We're coming up on the hour mark. I want to leave some chance for, or some opportunity for some Q&A. And again, if you'll submit those through whatever platform you're on, they'll aggregate up into our StreamYard dashboard. We'll get those answered the best we can. But we want to use the remainder of the time on the live stream to officially announce what we're calling our Alta Gives Back program. As far as all of the assets are concerned that we will talk about, they will be ready next week. But Ben, I absolutely love Ben. Again, I think shows you the caliber of guy he is. He brought this idea to us, right, Alta Labs management team, and said, hey, you know, seen a lot of need, right? We work with a nonprofit down in Guatemala. There's a school there, right, that has a huge amounts of networking needs. We just got done working with a TKW group, the Sojourner House back east. They needed, and were in desperate need of a wireless network, right? And there's some opportunities, right, for us to give back and use some of our skill sets, resources to be able to identify, you know, nonprofits at first, and then hopefully be able to open that up into pretty much any opportunity to give back and help those out in need of a network upgrade. But, you know, I don't want to take all the time and thunder. Ben, if you might share maybe just a couple thoughts on, you know, why you wanted to do this, or why you brought this to us, and why we want to move forward on it. We can kind of touch on some of the finer details as well. But
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think it's you know, and again, we're working right now with 501c3s just because of the structure. I don't want to get too detailed of it, but because of the structure of kind of a group that I'm working with that has some passion projects and likes to give back, that group, because of the way it's set up, it's called a donor advised fund. And that in order to donate that equipment, or donate funds, it has to go to a 501c3. So anyway, that's going to be the initial purpose, but we will get to the point where we're just doing, you know, but there are ways around that though too, right? I mean, you can work with another nonprofit that can work with another group, right? So
that's right.
But yeah, just felt like it was a great opportunity. Again, with Nets on Fire, we've done a lot of those kind of things, right? And it's been a lot of fun, and it's exciting. It's a way for us to say thanks, but also you know, say thanks to the integrators, and also have those integrators get some recognition for doing good things, right? And so it's just an opportunity to give thanks and hopefully help you know, some of those that are underprivileged or don't have the same opportunities. I mean, that was one of the coolest things at Ubiquity early on, right? Like all of a sudden we'd get an email from somebody on some remote island that never had access before, right? And just the opportunities that were opened up, right? This is obviously a different version of that, but along the same lines, right? Is hoping to provide and help people get out of certain circumstances by providing access to great networks. Yeah. Right. And so that was kind of the idea behind it. Hopefully it does really well, and integrators jump on board and find different 501c3s to work with.
Yep. Agreed. Well, that's really the crux of it, right? Is we know a lot of those, you know, integrators are installing Alta Labs are small businesses, right? There's probably plenty of opportunities that have come to your shop, right? And there's, with companies that potentially can't afford a network infrastructure upgrade for education or for shelters or whatever it may be, and you maybe not have the resources to be able to donate the gear, and so you kind of just bootstrap it or hold it together. We want to give you an opportunity to work with Alta, right, and be able to help support those situations where you know, a network upgrade or even a new network, right, access for the first time could be life-changing. And so what we will be doing is next week we will have a form out where you can actually submit your project for consideration. We want to know, obviously, as much as we can about it. The additional marketing resources that'll come out will cover exactly what we're looking for. We're going to try and award a project at least every month. Sometimes we'll be able to do multiple in a month. If there's a larger project that pops up, we may have to kind of consolidate a couple months into one. But and again, this will be US only at first because of some of the way that Ben's DAF works, right? Donor Advised Fund. But our goal is hopefully, we'll find a way to open it up for international markets in the hopefully the near future, and we'll open it up even past 501c3s. So we really want an opportunity to kind of change the world, right, and partner with you in doing that. And we need your help finding out where those little pockets of opportunity are to help and lend a hand. So anything else, Ben or Jeff, on the Alta Gives Back? Anything we missed? That's pretty much it.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, yeah. So we'll if you're subscribed to our newsletter, if you're watching us on socials, that's where we'll start pushing out additional Alta Gives Back assets. We'll also be putting that on Alta.inc. That'll have a permanent place on our website, and we want to hear about it. Right? We want to make sure you get recognition for it too, and use that just to kind of perpetuate into some good. So. That being said, we still have some time left. We want to jump into live Q&A. If you have not done so, please get your questions in, and we'll get those popped up on the screen and get them answered as quickly as we can. Again, if we start running too far over, we may cut it. But let's just see what progress we can make here. And also, a reminder about our giveaway. Rather than do one on this live stream, we're going to draw attention to our. We want to hear what you're thankful for. Maybe Robin, Landon, if you wouldn't mind throwing that up one more time, if you haven't already, just to help everyone catch that and where to participate. That would be great. All right, scrolling up to the top here. Got some compliments on Jeff's beard. That's great.
Appreciate it.
Keep that up.
I also failed to mention the marketing guys, man. They're Johnny on the spot. They're impressive.
Yeah,
Impressive.
They make us look good, man. I love
Yes.
Let's see. Ray, thanks for sharing what you're thankful for. Support. We agree. That's one of the major differentiators for Alta is we want to support you in any way we can, for free even. VJ, welcome back. It's good to see you. Thank you for looking for Wi-Fi 7 updates. Jeff, do you have anything from your side you want to share on that?
I mean, we're still making progress. It's slower than we hoped, but it's coming. So definitely early next year, we're hoping to be able to launch our first Wi-Fi 7 products with 6 gigahertz and everything.
Agreed. Another question from VJ as well. Any updates on the Pro lineup for the router and switches?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that any real progress has been made in the last month on that, but I mean, we are actually looking at some switches and improving our switch lineup. So I guess we definitely have made some progress there, but nothing that we can necessarily announce right now. Yeah.
And then one more from VJ. I love it. Just rapid fire. Would you release any enterprise Wi-Fi 7 AP with 4x4 on the 6 gigahertz, please?
Yeah, I mean, we'd absolutely love to do it at some point. It's not obviously immediate, but we do realize that 6 gigahertz can struggle if you only do 2x2, and it just doesn't travel as far. And so that 4x4 is definitely something we want to do at some point shortly after our first Wi-Fi 7 AP.
Fantastic. Agreed. This is Landon. Thank you for pushing this up. This is from J2SW. Lots of BG questions. Do you support RPKI validation yet? Is there a fib and a rib? I have no idea what he's asking.
Defer to Chris on that one.
Yes, there should be everything FRR supports related to BGP. So yes, there is a fib and a rib in BGP and or in FRR's BGP, and it also should have our PKI validation in FRR as well.
Awesome, cool. Thank you, Chris, and J2SW. Thank you for the question, and kudos to you, Chris, as well. Here, it looks like the Beard of Knowledge is a fan. He wants you on 24/7. We have to work on arranging that. We may not get any development work done though if you're 24/7. Live stream.
Maybe he'd get more.
Yeah. Another one, Chris. Good work. You got some fans here. Justin, Firewall Master. I love it. Okay, scrolling through. This is actually a really good question, Todd. First of all, thanks for being here. It's always good to see you. We also, as far as training classes, this is something we're actually very hard at work on. Speaking of our marketing team being incredible. So we actually have recently purchased an education platform and are in the process of populating that with a multi-tiered system, right? Anywhere from just basic networking and Alta Labs knowledge all the way up to obviously some more advanced things like routing and how that works within the Alta Labs ecosystem. So yes, we're anxious to get that out. It's been a long time coming. We will hopefully, you'll see the first probably training module launched January, February of next year. And then that will snowball into the additional modules thereafter. So working hard to make that happen as quickly as possible, Todd. Appreciate the question. Let's see. Another question. Jason, thanks for being here from Canada. When is the block feature available? It's not on my units.
Yeah, that's something that I failed to mention. So I'll show my screen real quick. So to enable it, you go to your settings, firewall, intrusion prevention, and it's right here, block duration. It gives you an example of how to use it. You can set it for 12. I guess that's the next question. You can set it for whatever you want. We don't turn this on by default right now just because we don't like to change settings without people knowing that. So on new sites, it will be enabled by default, but right now, if you have an existing site, we're not just going to turn it on. So you would need to go in here and turn it on if you want to use it.
Great. Thanks, Jason, for the question. Thanks for the answer, Jeff. And that also, the question he was mentioning, the follow-up question is Spirit of Knowledge. Thanks for that. Is the duration time adjustable? And the answer is yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Next question from Kevin Corbine. Is there videos on all the updates on the AP and software to learn? So generally, Kevin, thank you again for the question. So this is something we constantly strive for, not only on our videos, but our documentation. We try to have videos either at launch of a new feature or shortly thereafter. We do cover that in our trust site. We've basically committed to within about 30 days of a feature release, having documentation videos fully published. Sometimes we're much faster than that, right? For example, a voucher documentation was available day of launch. But in some others, right? For example, Audit Trail, I think that video is coming out today. So anyways, if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, that's where you'll see all of our videos we published.
And we have had questions about, getting updates on releases that come out. So we've improved our forum. We've learned how to use it in such a way that if you want to get like emails on AP releases or switches or whatever, you can watch that topic and you will get notified.
That's right. Yeah. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Kevin. This is a question. Russell2323. I'm not seeing vouchers or blocking on my local controller running 1.1M. Will those be added there?
So sometimes you need to do a refresh. I'm betting that if you do that, you'll see them show right up. Perfect. If it doesn't, reach out to support and we'll definitely figure it out.
Should be available now for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks, Russell. Let's see. Ray, I'm sorry, I don't know. Clearly the paint guy turned IT guy. Not sure what that means, but appreciate it. Amen to the great engineers. Thanks, the Beard of Knowledge. That's awesome. Chris, we've got some requests to show your keyboard. Can you do that without unplugging it?
Yes, I have been using Unicomp keyboards.
Hey, there we go.
For a very long time.
That's awesome.
They took over IBM's Model M plant in Lexington, Kentucky, and they're still making these keyboards in the same way that the Model M's were made 30 plus years ago, and they last forever as long as you don't let your cat dump a drink into them.
Yeah.
I didn't do that. My wife did because she has one too, because she's crazy about the mechanical keyboards as well.
Did those start out as like just for a programmer to make it look like or it sound like they were doing something? Like, I'm never gonna get fired here because I'm just counting on this keyboard.
No, there's something about using one.
It's the feel. It's great. Yeah, but when I worked in an open office environment, and there was like 50 people on a floor with no walls in between, and I had a mechanical keyboard and I type 100 words a minute, they're always like, I'm a machine gun keyboard dude over here, making a racket over the whole floor.
I love it. Thanks, Newt, for being here. Ben, kudos from Newt, coming from overseas, man of many trades. Luis Ortega, I'm assuming you know who that is, Ben?
Nice, Luis. Yes, former Ubiquity.
There we go.
Love it, Luis.
Thanks for being here, Luis. Let's see. Mike Rollins, thanks for being here. Oliver coming in from Spain. Sin gusto verte también. You see my Spanish license plate here, Oliver? Let's see. Kevin, this is a good question. How many Alta Labs staff are from other wireless companies? If you just open up wireless companies, is it 100%? Well, Corbin's not wireless per se.
No.
But I think we've all had time at some wireless company at some point.
Yeah, most of us.
Yep.
Sure.
We'll just call it 100%. We'll round up, Kevin. All of us. Mike, thanks for this. Thank you for listening, not telling me what I need or want. It's a big deal for Alta for sure. Let's see. Trying to make sure we get to the questions here. Looks like Russell found out, just had to hard refresh my controller browser tab, got that updated, sees the vouchers. That's great.
Perfect.
Let's see, Eric, we got Wi-Fi 7 announcement. We've covered that already. We're pushing hard to get that into Q1 still. Question from Mike Rollins. I think this one's for you, Ben. Do you play ball with the previous associates?
No. I think, well, just mainly because, I'm down in St. George now. So different group.
Trying to get the basketball players to move south.
Exactly. Hey, got to get to warm weather.
That's right. All right. Let's see. Yeah, Ray, thanks for the shout out, of course, as well, right? Having Cole out there. I know Cole thought that being a part of the Sojourner House project from a charity perspective was really cool. You guys are up to some amazing things with the TKW group. So thanks for letting us be a part of it for sure. Question from 8. I'm going to try not to murder that, but thank you, 8 Wandad. Anyways, appreciate you following us along. We'd love to have you obviously jump into the Alta ecosystem. We do have a knowledge base and training. If you want to go to help.alta.inc, that's how you can get access to our knowledge base. And then our YouTube channel, if you just search for Alta Labs, you'll see that pop up, and we have all of our videos there. I think Landon has actually put together some playlists too, so for some kind of initial intros to Alta that are available on our YouTube channel as well. So it's a great place to get started for sure. Next question. It's more of a comment. Crusoe Tech, awesome. I estimate that about 20-30% of our work this year has been in nonprofits, from networks for Boy Scouts, summer camp, to complete tech overhauls at a few historic churches. That's really cool. Yeah, Crusoe Tech, we definitely want to engage and help you out with those if we can. Let's go through. All right, next question from Justin. Thanks for being here, Justin. Now the dynamic routing is in, can DNS get a bit more attention? I would still love to be able to enter DNS entries for Docker containers in the UI rather than CLI.
Yeah, I don't know if there is a forum request for that yet, or feature request, but definitely make sure it's out there, and we'll see how many votes we can get for it. You can do it right now if you know the MAC address, and you can assign it a name and an IP address, and it will populate in the DNS. It's a little bit overkill, but it does work. So yeah, technically you can do it, but I agree. Like, it'd be nice to have something that's specific just DNS that just does the name and IP address mapping. Maybe some other types of entries in there as well, MX and name server, whatever.
Great, thanks, Jeff. Thanks for the question, Justin. Next question from Virgil. At the Route 10, is there any way to monitor ISP speed and latency? If not at the moment, can be considered for added in the future? Yeah, we've been hard at work at that right now. I mean, we just have basically added firmware support for it, so we're definitely making good progress on being able to do that straight from the Route 10. Yeah, I'm excited about that one for sure. Good question there, Virgil. Appreciate the softball one. Glad we've got that right queued up. Another question from Oliver. Any future cloud functions to monitoring devices like Domos? Yeah, I mean, there's one specific MIB that we don't support in order to do topology in Domos, but we have support for other features in there. So we're looking at that, been going back and forth and just gauging the priority.
So we don't have anything we can share yet, but it's definitely on our list of things on our roadmap.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Oliver. Both Fauzi and Mike are asking about point-to-points.
Yeah.
Good questions there. Jeff, you want to touch that?
I mean, nothing we can share publicly yet, but we're making progress a little bit here and there. So yeah, that's going to be exciting when we have that.
Yeah, definitely something we want to get out in 2026. Was quickly becoming one of our top priorities, right? Jeff and I were on a call even yesterday with some chipset providers trying to identify which one we want to move forward with. So more to come for sure. Another question from Pelany Max. Are there any plans to have an AP with RP-SMA connectors to allow connections to external antennas?
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing Chase and I were talking about in depth yesterday. Just our roadmap plans for 2026. It's definitely something we want to do for stadium, higher density deployments, or whatever you want to hook up your antenna to. But anyway, it's we definitely want to do that. It's just a matter of priorities, and hopefully we can fit it in next year, but we'll see.
Yep, agreed. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Pelini Max. Let's see, another question or maybe comment from Newt. Minor QoL request, an open option when the legend button to set VLAN for selected ports without having to use the color option. I think that's the switch color option he's mentioning there. We've seen this actually come up in the knowledge base, or excuse me, the forum as well on maybe to kind of break the association between colors and VLAN assignments on port profiles. So, yeah. Newt, have you put that, or maybe we need to have Newt. Maybe that's actually Newt that put that in as a feature request too. We need to probably get some additional eyes on that one.
Yeah, I'll have to get more information on exactly what you're looking for there too. We do show the color on each switch port. We don't show it in the main network dashboard. So I know that's come up a couple times, and we will do that, but I want to make sure that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Newt. We'll follow up with you on that one. Ben, looks like you got an old fan here, an old colleague, Rick Lindahl.
old distributor, reseller. Yeah, good to hear from you, Rick.
That's cool.
Hope all's well.
Yeah, thanks for being here, Rick. Your brother love your beard there.
There's my brother again. Yeah, thanks, Davis.
Thanks for being here, Davis.
My kids have said I'm more agreeable when I have my beard, but I don't know, they didn't say it this year. I think it's getting too white.
Yeah. That's awesome. Let's see, Landon, thanks. We got that question. Another question from Adam regarding Wi-Fi 7. Will the new AP7 allow for wireless meshing on 6 gigahertz? Not able to run wires in our current home, and being able to use that band would help. Yeah,
I mean, that's the plan, is to use both bands, 5 or 6 gig. Yeah.
Yep. Great. Thanks for the question, Adam. Thanks, Jeff. And then finally, it looks like this may be the last question for today. User Franklin G. Alta Labs has been gaining a lot of attention in the market. Have you deployed any projects in Texas, or do you plan to expand into Houston to reach new clients and markets? Good question, Franklin. So our go-to-market strategy is we work exclusively through our distribution partners. We actually have a couple of distributors that have locations in Texas already. And then our installation partners will work with our distribution partners to source the equipment themselves. So if you need to be introduced to a distributor, we'd be happy to do that. If you want to email sales@alta.inc, and a member of our team will get right in touch with you within an hour or so, generally is what we see happen. We can set up training. We can set up what's called an NFR kit, where you can buy your first kit at a highly discounted price. You can get into the ecosystem and obviously start to fall in love with it. So we'd love to help you facilitate that, and obviously have Alta be a part of your business going forward. So that, I believe, is it. Lots of kudos in the channel. Sorry we didn't get to all that, but again, thank you all for taking the time to be with Alta and for your support and your confidence, feedback. Again, we live and thrive off of that. But anyways, before we sign off, I wanted to turn it back to Ben or Jeff or Chris. Is there anything else you guys wanted to touch on, talk about, mention?
No, just appreciate being involved, and it's great to work with, again, great people, both within the company and the customers, integrators. It's just it's fun to see your passion and pushing to to provide for your families and all of that kind of fun stuff. It's just fun to see guys getting after it.
Yeah, agreed. Fun to be a part of. Jeff or Chris, anything else from your guys?
I just want to echo what Ben's saying. I mean, really grateful to be working with each of you out there. Love these meetings and getting the feedback so that we know what we're supposed to be doing and focusing on.
100%. Thanks, Jeff. Chris, anything else from your side? Anything we missed?
Just ditto.
Ditto. Love it. Great. Well, yeah, huge thank you, obviously, to Ben. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us. Chris and Jeff, you as well. Always thank you for being here. Thanks for making the Alta Labs ecosystem great. And on behalf of the entire Alta Labs team, thank you for being a part of our live stream today. All of the those that are just putting it in your homes, right, or if it were part of your business or part of your life, thank you for your support. Thank you for being here. We'd love to have you continue to support us, right? Be active in our forums, our community, social media, and be on the lookout. We've got another great special guest and special announcement queued up for December already. So we'd love to have you join us in December as we kick things off with that new partner. So again, if you didn't get a chance to be a part of today, if we missed your question, please email sales@alta.inc. Check out our giveaway that we're running on the forum. And beyond that, we will catch you on the next live stream. Until then, take care.